Hi, I'm Ashley Jones, the Business Development Manager for Cherif Medawar Real Estate Investing. Recently, I sat down with Cherif, a man who has over 20 years of real estate experience, to talk about what are his training strategies that work in today's marketplace today, right now.
You need to change and find the business models that constantly evolve and grow to the next level. Otherwise, you'll be left way behind, missing out opportunities.
Please take the time to listen to the stories and listen to him talk a little bit about the training itself.
In 1988, I told Mr. Bissari, I said, okay, it's time for me to move on with life. I've been with you almost 8 years now, and I learned so much. I think I can go and do it on my own. And he said, with my blessings. If you need anything, you tell me, and I'm always available. That was a very nice a way to launch me into the next level of life. And then I left him and I went to Solana Beach. My parents, my family, everybody was in Los Angeles. I wanted to go down south because I figured maybe I'll get a job in a hotel, so I'll have a security of the hotel business, and then I can do the investing on the side. I didn't have any money. I had a lot of knowledge and a lot of credit cards. And I'm not saying for people to start the same way, but what I did was I found a duplex in Solana Beach, right on Loma Santa Fe Drive, half a mile from the beach. And the deal was $320,000. I didn't have the money. So I went to the bank and I told the bank I'd like to buy the duplex. And the banker said, well, it's an income producing property. You have to put 20% down. 20% is $60,000 on a $300,000 purchase. Well, I didn't have any money. Because it was a local bank, they could give him a 5% down if they're buying their principal residence. So I told her, well, wait a minute, I'm going to live one side and rent the other side. It will be my principal residence. After all, duplex, triplex, and fourplex are residential loans. And she said, wonderful, you can apply for and qualify for the 5%. And that was $15,000. So I talked to the sellers. I said, would you pay the closing costs? They said, okay, we'll just pay the closing costs. Let's close quickly. And then I had to go and get cash advance on my credit cards. At the time, they had what's called NINA loan. No income, no asset verification. They didn't ask where the money's coming from. It was a pretty simple transaction. I went to a bank called Union Bank, put my credit cards, give me $5,000 here, give me $3,000, $7,000. I took a cashier check, went to escrow, and I put it right there. Transaction was done. Then I got what's called a Title I loan, which was a government loan to rehab your property. And I got that loan for 15 years, paid off the credit cards, got extra money from the credit cards, and I started rehabbing the place. And then I split it, and I sold them, and I made a killing profit. And it happened very quickly. And then that deal was kind of launching me into the next one. I decided to do a bigger one, then an apartment building, then I got into triple net buildings, and the rest is history. The students I have are three types of students. I have the novice investor, completely new. They want to improve their present condition in life. Then I have the advanced investors, these people that have been investing. They own commercial buildings, they own apartments, they own a lot of things. And then I have the brokers, the licensed people that really want to actually get into the game or elevate their own game. So I just always think of the fear that I had, how you had to conquer your own fear to do your first deal. I mean, when I was working for the billionaire, it was his money. That's one type of fear, one type of anxiety. But when you deal with your own name, your own credit, your own risk, and money, that's a completely different level of fear. And once you conquer that fear, there is no stopping to you. So I see that in people's eyes. And sometimes people, even advanced students that have been investing for years and they own one type of properties like apartment buildings. And all of a sudden, I want them to look into the triple net buildings where you get a big tenant, national company, giving you the lease net of taxes, net of insurance, a net of maintenance. It's called the triple net. That means the tenant pays the lease and tax, insurance, and maintenance. And you're trying to elevate them to that type of investing, and you see the fear, and they're wondering, can I do this? It reminds me of my first deal. I will never forget the kind of combination of fear and pride when I closed that deal. And you'll never forget the feeling when I actually closed the deal a few months later and I had the cashier check in my hand. And I was just like, my goodness, I actually made money here. I can do this so many times and add a zero, etc. So from 89, really, I started on my own. In 99, I decided, 10 years later, it's time for me to share with others because people just kept asking me, how do you do this? How do you make so much money? And people kept telling me, oh, you're so lucky, you're so lucky. And I started thinking, yeah, there may be some luck in life. I am certain there is. But there has to be a lot of skill, a lot of knowledge, a lot of principles, a lot of ethics behind somebody's success. So I wanted to convey the message with the right formulas so people don't just think, oh, I'm just unlucky, but he's lucky or she's lucky. You don't go through life based on luck. You don't count on luck. You count on the right principles, the right foundations, good values, good beliefs, good habits. You make things happen. And that's why I decided to teach, and that took a life of its own.